The past is a foreign country. The opening line of The Go-Between, a 1953 novel by L.P. Hartley, says, and that sensible assessment has served us well in viewing unpalatable historical events and attitudes as products of their time. Susceptible to criticism and disgust, but always through a lens that tells us that societies and ideas move on. But in recent years, this aptitude for critical thinking seems to be oddly absent. Historic art should stand or fall on its own merits, taking into account the contemporary framework that existed when it was created. Which brings me to James Bond, erstwhile fictional hero of a Britain that lost an empire but secretly saved the world. But early Bond has now been deemed unacceptable to modern audiences, without the addition of a trigger warning for sensitive souls who embark on a viewing of films about a spy with the license to kill, but who can't bear outdated language or attitudes. This is primarily aimed at the Connery iteration of Ian Fleming's MI6 agent, to my mind the best version, with declining quality since he hung up his Walther PPK. So, what has happened? Well, the earlier Bond films have been slapped with audience warnings as they may cause offence to modern viewers, the British Film Institute has said. Those looking to attend a season of the classic movies have been warned that elements of the franchise will cause offence today. That may be so, or it may not, but can't we watch the thing and decide for ourselves? The disclaimer also warns that two films in particular, You Only Live Twice and Goldfinger, include examples of language and themes that were prevalent in the 1960s. Funny that, as both were made in the 1960s, with Goldfinger released in 1964 and You Only Live Twice screening in 1967. The British Film Institute, BFI, is a body that receives heavy state funding from the UK government, which seems perfectly happy when it suits to exploit Bond for public spectacles, like the London 2012 Olympics. The government really should step in and demand this nonsense be removed, or the funding tap should be turned off. Revealing the policy, a BFI spokesperson said, as a cultural charity with responsibility for the preservation of film and moving image work and presenting it to audiences, we continuously face and deal with challenges presented by the history of film and television programmes and how they reflect views prevalent to their time. Whilst we have a responsibility to preserve films as close to their contemporaneous accuracy as possible, even where they contain language or depiction which we categorically reject, we also have a responsibility in how we present them to our audiences. The trigger warnings/content warnings that we provide in all of our exhibition spaces and online platforms act as guidance that a film or work reflects views of the time in which they were made and which may cause offence. We continuously review our processes around the presentation of film and moving image work to make improvements and support audience trust. We listen to customer feedback and also continue to work closely with the BBFC and their classifications to give appropriate guidance. This work is, by its nature, ongoing. And it's not just Bond who has been affected by this. The 1965 Michael Caine spy thriller The Ipcress File faces similar treatment. Returning to the past being a foreign country, one wonders what the future will make of today's world, where people seem to be incapable of making their own decisions about historic works of art, without trigger warnings and language policing. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and most importantly subscribe, and you can also support the channel on Subscribestar via the link in the description, or via YouTube Super Thanks. Thanks for watching, bye for now.